am taking a break from the regular scheduled Aesop. This showed up in my feed, and I'm like, had I done this? And I checked. I didn't see it. Then I read the lyrics first. And I'm like, I think I did this one, and it went south on me. And this is what I'm going to do with this. I think this is a valid valid expression. I think the opener explains the parallels, what he's trying to do here. And my only argument would be that the houses of the holy aren't the only places that hid the corruption and degradation of our society. And then, I'm going to say this. I think all power structures that use it to manipulate and control are garbage. I believe that there is an incredibly old, hidden man-boy love dysfunction in this entire planet that no one's willing to talk about, but it's tied to ancient belief systems. And that, let's just say, the activists of the last 10 years that were putting me in my place are now tumbling like dominoes as they keep getting busted with this, that, and the other. And then just to point out that not a single creepy basement dwelling monster needed the power of the church to go over there to the AI and start designing their darkest fantasies and having content produced for them. I would say that power, corruption, the low moral standards that we accept as a functioning society can be found in every recesses, from those filled with the spirit of something greater than themselves to the lowly atheist who believes they're the pinnacle of all knowledge. I don't think corruption and evil have a solitary resting place. But here, I believe, is an complete indictment of the corruption within the church. And I think, I've talked about it a couple times, I think maybe without knowing the complete story, it just appears an impressive Christian upbringing where, let's say, force and control are used with the name of God all in the same, moments. Well, that's garbage. That'd create nothing. I was a Lutheran, and we made macaroni Jesuses. No one touched me inappropriately once. My ability to relate to that world as being anything other than a Sunday picnic is tough. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. But because I went down the unfortunate enlisted people coming back and talking about the dancing boy problems and the, hey, it's nice that they bring their kids along on the road. That ain't their kids. What? You're kidding. No. It's like 60% of society just cool with it. So, yeah, I don't really care anymore. It turns out my relationship and my relationship with something greater than myself shouldn't or cannot be shook just because someone else is pissed off about it. And maybe they have a reason to be.
Give him one of these pills if he has any pain.
Here, just because I don't remind enough. I don't have any dirty priests that hurt me, but there was that piece of shit at the boat launch for 2 summers. So if unfucking fortunate skin in the game who knew that rewards and pornography turn out to get you something you didn't want in the bushes. So there might be a reason I get a little uppity. Because it was something greater than myself that helped me deal with the fact that, that was a real thing that can't ever be undone. And it leaves you a little fucking fucked up and broken. Weird. So I do relate. So fucking unfortunately.
Give him one of these pills if he has any pain.
A parable. What is it? Well, it's a little story with a lot of truth in it. An earthly story with a heavenly meaning. Jesus told many parables to grown-ups and children alike. He told them simply and sincerely, in words everyone could understand, so that all might learn the lesson he was trying to teach.
They were selfish with the helmets on the little bus. Till brake fluid sewage crippled up the get retorted nickel punks. Slowly culprits were his lowly robot bully woke would one day rise in sections to interrogate the Holy Ghost.
Holy smokes, father, black suit, white collar, kiddie porn, dungeon guns, and 3 fingers for your daughters. Quart belly up, antique Nazi
So it was right here that I got, I really got taken back to Apt Pupil, the story, the movie, but mostly the book. I got, I definitely believe it's an unfortunate real thing. We just had 2 major activists in the war on teaching us bigots what's up get busted for CP in like a week. So I don't, as I'm trying to explain, I just don't think you can find a root cause unless you go back to whatever fucked up shit makes this thing keep going. I don't understand it, and I'm grateful I don't understand it. I was broken by it, but I didn't carry it on, and that's the big thing, is I do see how that's got to be a cycle of the abuse, that you abuse someone and it just fucking keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Power and secrecy. But this one's getting down to the brass tacks of those the diddly fucking priests.
One day rise in sections to interrogate the Holy Ghost.
Holy smokes, father, black suit, white collar, kiddie porn, dungeon guns, and 3 fingers for your daughters. Quart belly up, antique Nazi paraphernalia. You cannot pay your bills with holy water and Hail Mary luck. Shucks, fucker, enjoy the Alcatraz shower fun. And mommy's madam cliche generation X agnostic front. It ain't the nifty faith in 1958 before the New Testament approved altar boy fisting rape and take me to your later, long as they don't manipulate toddler beaver. Call me crazy, but I bet that wasn't God's demeanor. Sodometer peaking, but Long Island was Jesus every weekend, spoon-fed to appease traditional upbringing of a middle Pennsylvania shithole where elders movement stressed a stellar therapeutic Bible cycle. One church with a bait and tackle store next door and not much more. So the 2 moved to New York, made babies raised on what they'd saw. Christmas morning smelled fresher than angel pussy, but immaculate conception came second to playful goodies. Like laser tag was way more spiritual than blood and body wafer bags and manger staff as long as Santa ate the cookies. Grandma was a saint, really paint with snakes and bullies. Said if only you'd memorize your prayers like you did your cool G. See, by the time I was old enough to know what religion was.
Now there was something in there, and I wasn't gonna pull up the lyrics because I think it would just turn into a ranty mess, because it is 100% permissible to be this blunt. But I believe that what we see are ideas and social contracts created to do our best to put up buffers against the actual evil that hides in the shadows through all of eternity, through all of time. Through all of time, we somehow have the morally sound have somehow justified letting psychopathy brew, grow, fester. And then if I had to jump on the as above, as below moral relevance thing, we pretend that our good somehow outweighs our bad. So the bad, yeah, that's cool. I give so much back. I can have that murder dungeon adrenochrome farm. I can Horgust organs. That's cool. There's good money in that. But I give a lot of my shit back to charity, and my organizations look like they're on the up and up. I think it's such a bigger problem than just the church. But the church is guilty because of the power it wields and the secrecy it allows.
Old enough to know what religion was. I was Catholicism numb and truly didn't give a fuck. 94, moved out the crib and ain't seen a steeple since. While Knievel evil seeps in the Christian leader's pitch. The priest slap with parental advisory warnings. I'll be auditioning gods in my office on Monday morning. Uh-oh, and yet another bill. Slip down the hatch, you patch him through the kill. Switch. I need a couple A's for Q's. I'm not an asshole, I'm just a little confused.
This story reminds us of the one Jesus told about people who were kind and helpful to others.
So there's at the beginning, and here's where I think in the comments you'll find the people who had that it got to. So if we would break free from the old satanic blood cult covenant and then actually apply let's just say the covetous nature part and forego desiring what other people have, whether it be their wealth, their power, their children, their wives, their brothers, whatever your fucking kink may be. I cover that. I talk about, use it in my rhetoric. I think one of my problems was desiring things that I couldn't obtain naturally, but then thinking I deserved them. Because why? Projection. I projected myself onto the other people. Well, why don't I get what they get? Point being, is there a whole group that wants power and abuse dungeons? Oh, there is. And they exist in almost all areas of society and culture. Now I got our friend Malawi. So you got you can't see it, but the hardwood Africa's up there. Oop, I apologize to Lake Malawi and everything else. Malawi, our friend Alfred. He is now sharing pictures of helping the orphanage. He is double, triple down on how badly he would like Ange and I to go out there. He's got 2 properties. An amazing example of a human with will and effort. Love him. In Malawi right now, if you have an albino baby, they will kidnap it and kill it and sacrifice it to a pagan god or voodoo magic. That possession and other sort of pagan mystical themes still make up their social contract. So, I mean, what is the argument from the extremist cult of a personality? Your opinion isn't right. You just finally found a person who said it the way you want it said. Break free from that and realize that this is a problem on a grand scale. It's not just something, and your crusty hippie friends should get pissed off that you smoke some weed and hate the system. Arr! Because we just did that with the activist set, and the activist set is now dropping like flies. Their corruption and their immorality being a light shined on it. Whether it be 2 or your 3 houses burned up in a fire, I mean, where was that money supposed to go? It shouldn't have bought you 3 mansions. Or it turns out that, as you advocated for your special interest groups, you were doing some secret shit with the students you shouldn't have been. So, you see how it could get really dangerous if you use it as a cudgel to attack your enemies? Now, free pass. If he was oppressed, hey, if someone wrote a rapist at the boat launch song, I would probably fucking join that cult of personality. But in the end, holy smokes, this whole subject probably goes back to the dawn of time. Maybe it's a much bigger problem than just this track points out.
Were kind and helpful to others. He said,
I'm not an asshole, I'm just a little confused.
this story reminds us of the one Jesus told about people who were kind and helpful to others. He said that one day the king would say to these people, come, inherit the kingdom prepared for you. For when I was hungry, you gave me food. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. But the people asked, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or sick, or in prison, and come to you? And the king answered, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. Yeah.
Just a little bruise in the back of the pews, acting amused with a man.
Oof, that line is, there's a little fuse in the back of the pews. One of the churches I went to was a hookup spot, so I could get with a girl, and then she was using it as the same thing, but pretending that there was a virtuous, righteous side to it. I had already had my experience down at the lake, so I was kind of broken to the entire thing. I just wanted to get normal relationships because I knew that thing was fucked up, So, do I believe that there is some sort of magical force field in a building that makes it special? No. I believe I said it the other day, when I can't ever make do for anything wrong I did, I can just put as much positive, care-laden energy into the universe, and it doesn't take away any of the bad things that happened once. That energy got created too. Until we create some idea that gets us to wake up and look at the fact that this sort of energy has been created ad nauseum since forever, and you can barely strike up a conversation because it's so uncomfortable. But whatever's happening in them screams from 3 doors down, I will just ignore that. Whew. I don't believe we've ever broke ties with the sacrificial blood cult of the old. I think there's this weird answer that people are looking for, and we still worship gods that demand blood.
Back of the pews, acting amused with a mask on them Vatican blues. For in the eyes of the organization, I was raised in Aesop, just another sinning brick in hell's basement. Cubicle adjacent to the killers and rapists. For what? Drugs and fucking is part of growing up. Like cups of a dumb shit's better than the schools. I'm not an asshole, I'm just a little confused. Just a lit fuse in the back of the pews, watching 1,000 flavors of the same god feud. I figure ultimate peace is the common theme, so it's a no-brainer piece when the blood hit the screen. I got a basic good and evil sensibility born. Good neighbor, know a halo wouldn't fit over horns. I'm more science than faith, I'm more karma than bread and booze. I'm not an asshole, I'm just a little confused. Not an asshole, I'm just a little confused. Not an asshole, I'm just a little confused. Not an asshole, I'm just a little confused.
You know what? To be completely honest, Aesop, you're a fucking
Whoa! I don't know if that's true. Not if you got burned. If them holy smokes were put out on your back while you were getting raped, then maybe you have a position to take. But then flip that coin over, it gets even doubly complicated because there are times that we allow liars to railroad non-abusers for the headlines. Once again, do clicks equate to power? I don't know. I don't get that many, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But if they do, then maybe the problem is always chasing power, acknowledgement, chasing some sort of enrichment at a greedy Luciferian level. I'm not talking about the proper exchange or anything like that. We're talking about that. Let's go grift off the demise of something. Now, I'm not saying this is. No, I think this is the exact opposite. I'm going to go out there and say it the way I think it is, whether it hurts my entire career. Right? You automatically, it's down in the comments here, you automatically ostracize some people. But then, awesomely and awesome so, you open up people's indoctrinated minds. The lyrics were down here, that's why I knew. Now, being this took me all the way to the ugly spot, let's just go with holy smokes, whether it was done once before or not. Wow, I really fucking hit a high note there. No, what can I tell you? I'm pretty well adjusted for it all. But I don't think it's an uncommon tale to be negatively influenced by either the religious, political, or social power structures that dominate our lives. Oh, Rollen thinks power corrupts. Damn, I'm not the first person who thought that. Holy smokes, we may be onto something there. Later.